this open range RV. This particular one has what we call a mini node. So it has a few less channels on it for polarity reversing outputs, has a few less lights. It has one less air conditioner. It does have some extra inputs for like switches for lights and slide outs. But for the most part, it's all going to be the same as what we call a maxi node, which is just the bigger one. So on the left side here, these are all your H bridges. This is where you'd hook up your awnings, your slides. If it didn't have leveling, your jacks would go there. And all these do is they put out power, positive, negative, or positive, negative. It depends on if it's going extend or retract, right? This is your motor power in. So if these two wires do not have 12 volts on them, nothing over here is going to have 12 volts on it. So the big thing for a Jayco in particular, or Highland Ridge, is that this here is tied to the battery disconnect. If the battery disconnect switch is off, this does not have power. Over here, you have the system power. This is not tied to the battery disconnect. So it is very likely that you might have lights on inside, your water pump will work, all those things, but your motors won't if the battery disconnect is off. That happens pretty often, actually. So if nothing works, if your awnings don't work, if your slides don't work, go ahead and make sure the battery disconnect is on and make sure that there's 12 volts on these two wires here, right? If nothing's working, lights aren't turning on, you want to check this fuse, inline fuse down here. You want to see if there's power on these two wires here. This setup, I don't know if you guys can see, but this particular setup has an extra motor controller. So since it is a mini node, it doesn't have as many outputs for awnings and slides. Secondary awning controller. And basically all it is an RVC device, which you can see here. This is RVC, just a data cable that plugs into our node up here, right? And then these two wires are your extend and retract for the secondary or auxiliary motor, whether that's an awning or a slide or whatever. So when you push extend and retract on the screen on the app, what's going to happen is that this node will send a message to this saying, hey, extend retract over this communication bus. And then the power actually comes out from here and goes out to your motor, whether that's the awning or the slide or whatever you have.